Yo, welcome. This bitch putting an applause over my voice. No, I'm just kidding. Uh,
Wait, that was to introduce you. Damn, Joey.
I'm just, I'm just kidding. I haven't used that word in so long. It felt really naughty to say that word out loud. Like it felt really bad. I take that back. I'm sorry. I don't ever want to use that word again.
No, bro,
Um,
you're good. No worries.
no, it really felt bad. I don't like it. Welcome to On Chain Power Hour. I am your co-host, Joey Vowels. Joining me as always, the lovely Prophets, aka Shanice. Welcome, my friend.
How you doing today? How's your day, buddy?
Living the dream. You know, I we're gonna I had a very emotional day. I actually was on the phone with Andrea about it, and we're gonna get into it in a minute. But it was a great day. I am so happy. I went to the gym this morning, hung out in the pool for a little bit, got some work done. It's been a really good day. I am so hyped for today's show with Wasabi and Jen and Mason. It is going to be an awesome show. If you want to come up
Bro,
and hang
we
out,
have a celeb here. We might go viral today. We got
oh,
Jen here.
she
Uh,
is
she's
goaded.
absolutely killing it, bro. I'm just fucking delighted right now. Very honored. It's gonna be a banger show.
Oh, without a doubt. And if you're in the audience, please feel free to come up, hang out. This is not one of those like you have to sit and listen kind of things. We want you to interact. The colony is for the people, by the people. So bring up the people. You know what I'm saying? So, real quick, we're going to introduce our guests for tonight. Also, obviously, I would be remiss to forget, joined by the homie Quentin, aka Dachshund Wizard, a member of the team as well. But yeah, let's kick this party off. Let's throw it to Jen first, little quick introduction, and then we'll go around from there. What up, Jen?
Hey guys, thank you so much for having me. I'm Jen. I make videos. I think that's about it. I have
Bruh,
literally
Jen, don't
13 brain
even.
cells.
You're too smart. You're a freaking powerhouse of a brain. You have an amazing brain, Jen. More than
Oh,
videos.
thank you, Prophets. That means a lot. I might be a little slow on the space. I literally have not slept since yesterday, so I will be here and kicking it. And yeah, with that said, I'm gonna go on mute.
I mean, we will gladly engagement farm you. So just hang out on stage, and even
No,
if
no,
you don't
no.
want to
I'm
talk, it's okay.
I'm down to participate. I had some green tea before this. I'm on like my 20th can of sparkling water. I've watched the Taylor Swift Eras tour at least twice today. Cuz
Swifty
that's
power.
what's literally like keeping me going as I'm editing is to just be able to like kind of jam out and be able to look over and be like, "Oh yeah, she's in folklore era." Oh, so good. You know what I mean? So
Big love, Jen. Thank you for joining us today.
Mhm.
We also have
Wait, wait, hold on real quick.
oh,
Jen, do you drink a flavored sparkling water? Like what is your drink of choice?
oh, it's whatever we can get cheap at Costco, you know? Usually it's like a pack of La Croix. It just sucks because like the Costco variety flavors are like, they fucking rug you with like a bunch of lime or lemon and it's just annoying. But
I'm an
if you
ice fan. Do you like ice?
no, I think ice is like too sweet, dude. I like
That's fair.
yeah, it's like I
Joey's a
know
pretty sweet guy.
It has a
he
preservative
is.
in it too, so
Yeah.
Well, so
And I
when I'm
know
feeling bougie, I buy the San Pellegrino, like the no
yes.
sugar one, like the really it's like Essentia or something like that when I'm feeling really bougie.
Yeah, it's a good one for sure.
Sorry, Prophets, go ahead, introduce the next guest.
No worries, Jen. Thank you again. You better get some damn rest. I'm not asking, I'm telling. Thank you for your time. Mason, thank you also for being here. He is quote unquote COO, head DGen at Wasabi Protocol. So would love to hear from you, Mason. What's going on? How's it going? How's your day going?
Hey, thanks for having me. Day's going good. Back on the grind after a weekend. Like our CTO and myself, we both had our birthdays, so it was a packed weekend this weekend. But yeah, thanks for having me. Like you said, I'm the head DGen. I'm in the
Dude,
trenches.
happy birthday. I didn't
Thank you
know.
so much.
Let the fam know too.
Yeah,
Please.
I'll let Hassan know. Yeah.
Pump that shit up for Mason's birthday.
Pump it up, don't you know? Pump it up. You got to pump it up, don't you know? Pump it up. You got to pump it up, don't you know? Pump it up. You got to pump it up, don't you know? Pump it up. You got to pump it up.
That's better than happy birthday, to be honest. All right, pump,
That's
please pump. Please pump my
amazing.
bags.
Mason, are you gonna be having anyone join? Is anybody beside the Wasabi account? Should we also?
No, that's just me on the Wasabi account.
No
So
worries, just making sure. Awesome. So let's just jump right into it, and I'll start with you, Mason. What exactly was the vision initially when Wasabi launched, and now that it's been a couple of months, would you say scale 1 to 10 that you guys are executing fully on the initial thoughts and ideas that you guys had?
yeah, I think so. I mean, I think the initial idea was just like so we started about just about a year ago with NFT options because we believed in like this asset backed structure for like liquid assets like NFTs and like meme coins. And then when we launched the Perps product early January, that's really what we wanted to accomplish, right? Was a safe asset backed leverage trading protocol where you can trade long tail assets. And now, like as crypto moves, right, I think we see it more as like a culture hub, right? Like where do you trade culturally relevant items that are usually more liquid and like long tail assets, and that's Wasabi. So I think we've been executing on it, and it's been exciting.
Wait, I got to jump in real quick. So, as a monster sushi fan, I eat wasabi every Sunday. Little mixed with the soy sauce, dipping in the sushi. If you haven't you're not catching my sushi Sundays. We go to Sushi Buffet.
American wasabi at that, but continue. Go
Yeah,
off.
it's that fake powdered shit, all right? It's not the real stuff. Because I'm going to the sushi buffet every Sunday, $18, all you can eat sushi. Don't hate. That shit's delicious. So I want to know, Mason, why Wasabi Protocol, and is it at all related to your obsession with sushi?
I mean, we do eat a lot of sushi and wasabi. Every time we go a place that has anything with wasabi on the menu, we order it now. But no, I mean, I think Aaron just came up with it. I don't know. We were just thinking it's like spicing up trading and stuff like that, and we landed on it.
Spicing up. You heard that? I like that.
But it's not the spice that like fucks you later. It's like the spice that you can just, you know what you're getting, boom, it's gone.
Yeah,
Right?
a clean
does its
spice.
job.
It does. It's clean. It just cleans out that nasal passage.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So we know that the platform, we know it's on Blast, right? But what was when you guys were sitting down and you were thinking about like where we're going to launch this, was there ever another discussion beyond Blast? Was it always Blast? Like, how did you come up with it? Like, what was that decision making like?
Yeah, I mean, so we initially launched on mainnet, trading like Floor Protocol fractionalized NFT tokens. So that was the first iteration, and then when we saw the Big Bang competition, and we saw a lot of, we of course looked at like every chain, but the way that like Blast has really structured the incentive rewards program, how they like it's a chain for degens, right? We're all degens. It makes a lot of sense. And then we won the Big Bang, and yeah, we made the decision pretty easily.
He won the Big Bang. Just in case you guys didn't hear that, Wasabi Protocol won one of 40 that won, right, Mason?
Yeah, something like that. I think, give or take.
That's awesome. Congratulations, guys.
Thank you.
Love to hear it.
Dude, I'm sorry. I is it okay if I interrupt?
God, no, Jen.
Please do.
Jesus.
Please
Jen's,
do.
I was like,
Jen always helps
I was
me
like,
out on
shit, I
things.
forgot to put the hand up. No, I was just gonna say, like, so for those of you guys who don't know, Mason and I know each other from the NFT finance space because Wasabi was like the original options protocol for NFTs. And I think one of the things that I've just been kind of like reflecting on as I think about the Blast ecosystem is like I at my core will always be bullish on NFT finance. I think it's a heavily under discussed narrative. I think people keep fading it, but it's like definitely the guard like the rails that are being built in the NFT finance space by like the various protocols is like what's going to completely change like our financial systems, in my opinion, as the tech accelerates and as we move towards an on-chain future, et cetera. But like I think Wasabi was one of the few builders that came over and has just been absolutely crushing it on Blast. Like the adjustments you guys have made to product vision, the way you guys are aligning with users, the added features, and like it is just so cool for me to be able to DM Mason and being like, hey, like this feels a little weird in the UI UX, and then like I log in the next day and I'm like, oh, it's fixed. Like they ship that so fast, and I know you guys are a small team, and I don't think small teams get enough love. And the speed in which you guys are able to move and iterate and deliver is really, really remarkable and incredible and inspiring. And I'm just like so stoked that like Wasabi's having its come up on Blast in this ecosystem. Like I think Wasabi is going to be a household DeFi name 2024, 2025. So calling that now. The Spaces is recorded. We can run this back in a year or two.
I would just
Thank
like
you.
to say I feel really dumb because I don't mess around. I'm gonna be honest. I'm not a big NFT fi guy. Like I just got into Liquidium with my Bitcoin. Like so I did not know that you guys have been around as long as you've been around. I honestly thought you won the Big Bang competition and launched on Blast. So I apologize for completely blowing that. Like I'm have not taken full advantage of the opportunities in this space, whether it's NFT fi, DeFi, whatever. Like I'm just now I starting to do that. So I apologize for being misinformed.
Shame on you, Joey.
No, I mean during the summer there wasn't too many people talking about NFTs, let alone NFT fi. So I can't blame you on that one.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you. Go ahead, Matt. No hands here. Just jump in. We're all friends.
So I've had the honor to know Mason for about a year now, and one thing that they don't really talk about is how they're basically leading the developer community for New York City, where there's a Web3 builders meetup at Station 3 in New York City, and uh, Eden like leads the panel every single month, and it's new speakers every time. And I don't really have a background in tech or dev relations, and like each time it's something new that I'm learning, and people like walk out of there like their brain hurts because they've taken on so much. And I've just like they're not just this NFT platform, but like leaders in the space, which is incredible.
That's awesome.
Yo, that is lit. That's really bullish. I'm sorry, Joey. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say the same thing to you. That's awesome. Like I love to hear stuff like that. Like it's the stuff that we don't hear about on the timeline, like Matt just said, that it's like the inside alpha that makes you bullish on the team and then the product becomes just part of it, right? Like you buy into Mason and the other guys on the team because of what Matt's saying, and that's what matters. And then real quick, housekeeping. We should have did this in the beginning, but we're just so hyped about tonight. You know the little purple button in the bottom right, like, repost, text your grandma, fax your uncle, blah, blah, blah. Get everybody in here. Go ahead, Profits.
You know, maybe maybe a little bit more excitement there, Joey. The people love being here.
I am not a good shiller.
You
I
are
am not a
great.
good shiller.
You are great.
It's like,
We aren't chilling. This
all
is
right,
life
listen,
changing.
purple button in the bottom
Jesus.
right, like, repost, comment, get people in here. All right.
Oh my God. Like what he said. Anyway, damn, that kind of went into my next question, but totally fine. I guess Mason, what was the first, like milestone, and has it been hit yet? And if it has been hit, what's the next one?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. Like, I remember I was talking to Aaron about it the other day. I remember like when we forgot our first like $100,000 deposit, and we were like, "Oh my God!" Now we have 78 million or 73 million in TVL. So it's like been insane. But I think the first number was probably $100 million worth of trading volume, and now we're just about to two. I think next we would like we passed. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, we passed two. But like for that, I think that number is probably the next big milestone would be 500, and then for TVL, we'd love to get to 100 million. I think that's the next goal.
Those are massive numbers. Think about how many zeros those are. Like, that's incredible, guys. Like, really, really incredible. And then, so I have a question for Jen in regards to Wasabi. So, as I would say, a power user of the platform, what are some of the things that you think separate them from the other existing platforms across other chains?
Yeah, so hold on, I'm trying to process this in my brain so I can like not be too jargony. So Joey, do you know what perps are? Like basically where you're all like, yeah, number go up, I'm gonna, long it.
Yeah.
Number go
Well, I
down, I'm
mean,
gonna
so
short
I
it.
understand how this works when it comes
Well,
to stocks. So I'm assuming it's the same for
yeah.
NFTs.
Like
Yeah.
leveraging, yeah.
Yeah, it more or less the same, right? What's pretty interesting is like historically perps specifically on NFTs are Oracle based. So like they're pulling data feeds from Chainlink, Pyth, and like all these other data providers. I think one of the really innovative things about Wasabi that, you know, um, it's interesting, like end users, I feel like probably don't really care about this, but from like a builder perspective and an infrastructure perspective, I think it's actually a really important distinction when you start thinking about like the caliber of the product that they're building. But like all of their perps, I like Mason, technically it's like what, margin
Yeah,
trading
more
now?
of like a lever,
Yeah.
like a margin trading, on-chain margin trading.
Yeah, but like all of it is asset backed. Like if you go onto Wasabi and you long PackMoon, like that is backed by PackMoon. It's not just like some arbitrary data feed. And I think that's actually really, really powerful because it's like once we, you guys are RWAs on the consumer side, but as we think about some of the more traditional financial instruments that have yet to like come on chain in a meaningful way, it's like what are all of those institutions, like what is the underlying tech that they're going to try to use or mimic or replicate? And it's like Wasabi is kind of building a really fantastic example.
So I was wondering.
So like,
Oh, sorry.
oh no, I was just gonna say from like an insider alpha or insider perspective as someone who used to work in NFT finance, I think like that's one of the things that sets their product apart. But if we want to like kind of go more, what does retail care about and like benefits driven or user benefits, I think it's like the speed in which they're able to pick up Blast native assets and add them, because like among the other perp dexes that are available on Blast, like you're not really trading Blast native assets. Like there might be a few here and there, but like Wasabi has been leading the way there. They've always been at the forefront of innovation. Like I can go on about Wasabi forever. Like I'm so bullish on this team, and like to be clear, I'm not paid by this team. These are just friends that I've gotten to know over the last few years, and just watching them grow has been really incredible. Well, like last year, time in this space is strange, especially when you haven't slept in 30 hours. But anyways, the last thing that I'll say is really cool is like, do you guys know about like the 404 standard? Came out a couple months ago. It's basically like you could have an NFT that's natively fractionalized and trades like a shitcoin, or you can hold a certain amount of a shitcoin and all of a sudden have an NFT. Wasabi was the first leverage protocol that integrated that when Pandora came out, and it started this whole meta. Like Wasabi was the first, then we saw like 4 other perp dexes do it. And what's really exciting about 404s is like this is a hyper financialized, like it's making NFTs hyper financialized, right? And what is like the common trend on Blast? It's like the highest yield environment that like really embraces hyper financialized tech. And Wasabi's like spearheading that with Floor, bringing that tech over to Blast. And so it's like to be so early in an ecosystem that's only been around for what, like 2 months now, and to have 404s be such like a prominent part of like this growing NFT ecosystem that's happening, a part of the DeFi ecosystem. It's just like the things that we would talk about in our builder chats a year ago. It's like there's actually now, it feels like there's an environment for it and there's a path forward and there's a place where people like retail is going to be willing to try these things, just given the nature of the blast chain. Does that make sense? I feel like that was kind of like really poorly worded.
No, it definitely makes sense. What I got from that is when JP Morgan Chase buy out Wasabi Protocol for $1 billion. I don't know. I mean, maybe. I'm hoping for it. I'm praying for you, Mason.
Inshallah.
Right? But Dash, you wanted to jump in there for a second. Go ahead.
Oh yeah. So Jen mentioned like the asset backed, and I was also reading about how everything on Wasabi is asset backed. In regards to the options for NFTs, how does that work? Like, do people stake their NFTs and then that is part of the pool, I guess? Or I haven't looked into that yet.
So people can deposit NFTs and then write, like if you're writing call options, so you could write call options on the NFT, and basically we have like a generative order book. So you set a range and you're like, okay, I'm willing to like write calls within this set range, and then for this range of expiries, and then it'll generate every option available on that asset within those parameters, and then when somebody buys it, the asset's locked until the expiry.
Okay, so it's locked in there. So if someone I was just thinking like if someone puts it in there and then they're like, actually, I don't want it in there, but someone else longed on that available NFT, they can't be possible to take it out if there's.
Correct. Yeah. If somebody paid for an option on that NFT, it's locked into the contract until the duration until it expires or somebody exercises it.
Damn, that's amazing.
Mason, is there typically a minimum asset value in order to add to the, like in order to open up for an asset?
On which side? On the option side or the perp side?
On the option side.
Option side's fully decentralized, fully permissionless. So if that asset, you can put it in there, like no matter what.
Okay, cool. So what you're saying is I could put my $1,200 Pokemon card in there.
Correct. Yeah, we haven't brought the options protocol to Blast yet, but I mean, if there's interest, it would be pretty easy.
Got it. Okay, cool. So
I see what you're trying to do there, Joey.
Yeah, I was trying to plug a little, right? Like we got to get people to purchase these assets, and then we can allow them to farm Wasabi by opening up positions with their collectibles, right?
Yeah.
If they can buy anything, everything keeps selling.
I know
out.
we got to get more. I've been yelling at my brother all day to get more assets listed. Didn't you go shopping today, Shanice?
May have or may have not went shopping on my anonymous account.
I DM'd like I had to make sure I stopped DMing people in my Instagram just so I don't get like flagged. But yeah, we're working on that.
Awesome. So earlier in the show, I alluded to getting a little teary-eyed today, and I'll just drop it real quick. So for the last, I don't even know how long I've been on the team now, maybe like 10 months that I've been on the team. We've been working on this multiple different iterations and growing and, adding and subtracting team members, and it's been a very long, and I'm sure Mason is familiar with this too, being a founder and and part of a project. Very long, tiring, where and you don't know when the light's going to come to the end of the tunnel, and like you're putting in long hours. And we launched on Friday. We had a great weekend. It's going incredibly well. We had calls with resellers today that now want to get on, more resellers that want to get on the platform. And then Jen put out her video where she decided she's going to give away some Pac Moon and the manga One Piece card she bought. And when she started to talk about the platform and giving back, it literally brought me to tears. It was like a moment of all the hard work that we've been doing for all this time is finally paying off. So I want to thank Jen for that video, and thank you for making me cry. because it really did like validate everything that we've been doing. And it's only the beginning. But thank you, Jen. Really, thank you. Okay, so that was the sappy portion of the show. Let's get back to other stuff. I'm gonna.
Joey, that was so fucking sweet, and that's so fucking awesome of you, Jen. I missed that. That's so fucking
Yeah.
dope. Really, really amazing. Actually, real quick reset. This specific Spaces goes on every Monday at 7:30 with myself, with Joey, the amazing Dash. He'll do a magic trick here shortly, and really just highlighting everything that's going on, not only with the colony, but Blast, everything that's going on in the Blast ecosystem, and the cool things that we should all be learning about. So if you haven't already, like, comment, repost the room. We are absolutely running up Pratik's pockets tonight because he's in the room and he's listening. So drop your Blast wallet address. Okay, it's the same, right? It's the same as your ETH address. Drop it below, and you will win some USDB. You will have the opportunity to win some USDB,
And
and
spend it on the
Pratik hopes
platform.
that you use the. Exactly, I was gonna say Pratik hopes you use the USDB on the platform. Anyway, Joey, back to you. Go ahead.
Yeah, I wanted to quick pivot off Wasabi for a second, and let's shine a little. Oh wait, Yosta had a hand up. Yosta, did you want to jump in?
Yeah, I will be quick. First, the question is to the colony team. What kind of product can I use? Because I'm in Asia. So what kind of product that I can use on your platform? Yeah, that's the question.
Are you asking, like, can you vault collectibles with us, or are you asking, what are you asking exactly?
I'm from India, so how can I use your platform? Like, what can?
Yeah, so from my understanding, because this came up in the Discord the other day, we are not, like, there's no, like, we're not, there's no IP or countries that are being blocked, so you should be able to just go on to.
Are you on the Blast ecosystem?
No, I mean your website says some physical stuff. So what stuff can I use, or what kind of product can I build with you, or can be a user being in India? That's what I was asking.
Oh yeah, so you're okay. So you're asking about the type of collectibles that you can put on the platform.
Yeah.
Yeah. So right now, great question, Pratik, my guy. Right now, we are accepting graded and authenticated trading cards, video games, and comic books. In the next couple of weeks, and I can only say this because I've seen Pratik say it himself, we plan on expanding those categories to include more sports, so basketball, baseball, football, soccer, etc. Also coming soon will be sneakers, Funko Pops, and then as we continue to grow the roadmap, we'll even open it up to raw items as well. So booster boxes, cards, etc. So remember, this is our MVP, right? So we've got 6 categories right now. I think we've got Pokemon, One Piece, Yu-Gi-Oh. Caitlin Clark has her own category because she's goated. And then we have comic books and video games. So expect in the next few weeks there to be more categories popping up within those 3 specifically. So cards, video games, and comic books. And then within the next few weeks as well, you'll start to see more items, again, sneakers, Funkos, etc.
It's good because cards and Pokemon cards market is kind of without liquidity in India, so it's good.
Thank you for the question. I appreciate that. It was like a semi soft toss. It was like, here's a soft toss, but with a curveball. So thank you. But real quick, before we pivot real quick from Wasabi, and I have a question for Jen. So you released that video where you showed that how you used to be behind the camera and you were the person, filming. It looked like commercials, music videos, all kinds of stuff like that. When did that point happen where you were like, I want to step out from behind the camera and be in front of it and really embrace the idea of like content creation? Uh-oh.
I think she
Oh, we
dropped
just
off for a
lost her.
second. We'll get
Okay.
her back up here.
She had to go
But
sip up some
I was
more.
like, man, you scared her
I was gonna
away.
say, either she fell asleep or
Can you guys hear me?
oh, she's back. There we
Yeah.
go.
Okay, yeah, no, I got rugged. Joey, I just feel like you gave me such a kind and nice intro, and I heard like 3 seconds of it. Can
I
you?
said you put out that awesome video where you showed like where you started, which was behind the camera.
Mhm.
So at what point, like when and where did the decision of I want to be in front of the camera instead of behind the camera and start creating content?
Yeah, it's actually really funny that you asked this because it touches on something that we covered earlier in the space when you were all like, I had no idea NFT finance was a thing. Um, I think NFT finance really, for me, was my aha moment in Web3 where I was like, I see, like, this can change the world. Like, this can change everything. Um, and I got to meet people like Mason. I got to meet like folks over at the arcade team, the Niftify team, like all of these like incredible builders. Like Kettle Finance, they started off as NFT finance guys. Did you know that the fantasy team actually also started off as NFT finance guys? Kettle was Skillet, which was an NFT like lending and bids aggregator. And funny enough, Travis and the fantasy team, they were actually AAA, which was a lending aggregator. And so, but I just saw like all of these small teams creating really incredible products and tech that was getting battle tested, that was like seeing significant volume. But when I would go out to Twitter, no one was talking about it. Like that was so that was like kind of like the first thing where I was like, I think there's a huge gap here. Um, the second thing was I have all of this fucking equipment sitting around in my house and I should probably do something with it because I spent thousands and thousands of dollars acquiring it, over the course of like the last decade. Um, I never really viewed myself as someone that could be on camera. Like I've always gotten the feedback that I'm a pretty solid like public speaker and like I've moderated panels and I've given keynotes in my other life. And so it was just one of those things where um, I got to a point where I quit my job and I was thinking about what value can I bring to this space? Like, what skill sets do I have? And like, where did I want to see myself? And I kind of realized, like, I realized that like I don't think I'm ever going to necessarily be like a tech founder. Like, I don't know if I'm ever gonna like. I just feel like that's not for me. But I love startup life. Like, my entire career has been, for the most part, in startups and production companies because of the nature of VR. And so once I accepted that I probably wouldn't be a startup founder, I kind of just realized I wanted to be able to amplify the people that I believe in the space and like try to bring attention to the builders that deserve it. Because I think there's a lot of builders that don't get the spotlight that they should have. And so it was a test. Like, if you guys want more Jen lore, you can go to my highlights and you can scroll all the way down and you'll see some of the first videos that I was putting out. And it's so funny because like I'll still go back and watch that. I'm just like, wow, I look so uncomfortable. And it's because it was comfortable. Like, I was like, this is nothing I've ever really been comfortable doing. Like, I accepted in high school that like I wasn't going to be an actress, that I am like tone deaf, and like that just like was not my forte. And so it was kind of like a mix of all of those three things, and then me just realizing that like, at the last job that I had, I killed myself. I sacrificed my health, and I did that for something that wasn't even mine. And I just kind of had this moment where it was like, I never want to pull an all-nighter again unless it's for me. And so it's like kind of a funny full circle moment, because it's like, even though I'm operating on like literally no sleep, it's like I've done these sprints before, but this time I'm doing it for me. And there's something really emotional about that. So it's funny, Joey, you were talking about how you got emotional watching my video. It's just like I feel like I've been on again, off again, crying like all weekend, teared up multiple times throughout the day, which is why I needed to like just turn on the Taylor Swift like movie so that way I wasn't like getting distracted and like randomly like crying tears of like I don't even know. It's like definitely tears of joy. These are not sad tears, guys. But anyways, that's kind of the does that track? Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Like,
you're for somebody who hasn't slept, you're doing an incredible job, and it totally makes sense. And I mean, I'm sure I'm not the only one that's going to say it. Like, it's been incredible watching your evolution and your journey and what you're doing with War Daddy at Remnant. Is it Reman or no Reman?
yeah, like you know how you mint NFTs?
Yeah.
I was kind of like the whole thesis around Remint because it like that was one of our specific niches that we focused on and we've been covering since like the fall of last year's NFT finance across different ecosystems. So like we look at Liquidium, we look at Sharkify, ETH mainnet. Obviously now Blast is like taking up all of our attention. But the idea was like, how can we break down these really complex concepts and protocols and products into things that hopefully more people that are at least like in this space can understand so that way they could like quote unquote remint their reality and like their perspective on society as it is and yeah
I
so
don't know
remint.
why I wanted to say. I don't know why I want to say remnant. But even though I know it's spelled remnant, that was just terrible. But no, we all appreciate. I will say that, and I'm sure I speak for everybody. We appreciate the content you put out. I think there are quite a few people in this space that are quote unquote educators, but the way that you do it just makes it work. Like the way you explain it, your tone, like it just makes it extremely understandable. Like we were talking about Fantasy Top today on Coffee with Captain, and I got a DM from somebody, and everything I know about Fantasy Top is from you. Like I'm not, like I said, I don't participate in a lot of stuff because I've been so busy. Um, so I was kind of telling people like what I had learned from your videos, and I get a DM from somebody, and they're like, "How does this blast jackpot thing work?" And I'm like, "Here's Jen's video." And then he was like, "So what do I have to do?" I was like, "Just go to Jen's page and watch all her videos." Like I'm not going to like I'm the wrong person here. Just go. And he was like, after like an hour, he was like, "Thank you, that was great. I watched all of them." So the way that you create the content and the way obviously maybe you missed your calling as a teacher, which doesn't pay well. This probably pays way better. But yeah, so I just lots of flowers for the way you create the content and the way you're able to educate people.
Thank you, Joey. That means a lot. Sorry, Profits, go for it.
No, my bad. Please respond.
No,
to
I was just gonna say that that's really kind of you. Like I've been doing this for a decade. Like granted, like the last couple of years have been more in a marketing capacity, but it's like I've worked on multiple documentaries. I've directed documentaries. And so it's one of those things that it, it was like, how can it, I have no idea what I'm fucking trying to say. This is my brain moving super slow. I'm sorry.
This is your brain. This is your brain on no sleep with green tea and
Yeah.
carbonated water.
Well, I think
Um,
I know what you're trying to say. You've like done this type of education and putting things into contents that make sense, and the main points. You're able to highlight the main points in a concise way in your previous life, and now you're doing it here.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, it's not easy and a lot of work does go into it. Like people are like, how long does it typically take you to spit out a video? And it's like those 18-minute videos that I do. It's like like the research is kind of like just through every day interacting with these platforms and like checking in with the teams and, poking around and like fucking with all of the features that I could possibly fuck with. But so like there's that, but compiling all of that, going through group chats and compiling notes into a script, like that can take me anywhere between 3 to 6 hours, and then it's like an hour to film anywhere from 2 to 4 hours to edit. And so it's like a lot of effort and time and attention goes into this. And it's just
When
so nice
assistant,
to,
Jen? When are you going to just hire an assistant?
when I don't have baby bags, Joey,
Yeah,
when I've made it a little bit
I'll be
more.
available to be your assistant. I'll tell Pratik.
Let's go.
It's amazing to
Also,
hear like how much work, like people don't realize. I think people that don't create content, like I am by no means a content creator, but sometimes I try to make the occasional video, and people don't realize like what goes into just a 1 minute long video. Forget like 6 minutes, 20 minutes, like 30 minutes. Like it's crazy. And I'm not even doing anything special. Like I'm not breaking out all the Adobe Premieres and soundboards and pop-up graphics, and like I think people are so used to seeing just like the final product on Instagram or TikTok that's like 45 seconds. They're like, oh, I can do that. And then we see your video where it's like, it says like, what did it say? Like 1 a.m. to 5 a.m. on fast forward. And you're like, holy shit, she was sitting there for 4 hours. Like it's just crazy.
Joey, can I talk?
Yeah. Yes.
No, I'm
As
fucking
long as you
around.
stop frying
Um,
sausages.
nah, no sausages. I don't like sausages. You want some steak though? I'm cooking.
Hell yeah, you're cooking.
No, Joey, no steak for you, Joey. Just Jen and Dash and Mason here, Matt and Wasabi. Anyway, no, I'll just add this and then we'll get right back to it. We got about 15 minutes before we start to wrap up. So thank you so much for everything. It's been such a great conversation. But I just wanted to add as well. I mean, Jen won't say it. I'll say it for her. She's so humble. I had the blessing of meeting her a little over a year ago, and the first few conversations were instantly. It was just instantly obvious to me. I was like, damn, this person not only is very analytical, but she gets it. Like she gets it, and I remember hearing you explain things from a technical standpoint, especially like the NFT fi stuff, and Joey, to your point of these, made up content creators, what's going on right now, and it's great because we're witnessing it firsthand. And Jen is one of the first people that are going to be kind of breaking out of this whole quote unquote facade. But when somebody is not only passionate about what they do and they actually care, but they are able to articulate education and what they know in very nicely in a video. And that's different than just turning on a video and just talking or like repeating something that you saw on a tweet. That's what a lot of people do here. And I don't know. When I started seeing the Gen content go viral, I was like, duh. Like, it's only a matter of fucking time. So just piggyback off of that, like anybody out there that gets scared of being in front of a camera, same too. I've looked at my videos from 8 years ago and I look awkward as fuck. And it's just really funny.
Weren't you like 12 8
And
years ago?
you see how he has to interrupt? Not only did he fuck up the start of the space, anyway, so yeah, just all around W's for Jen, and very excited to see everything that you have coming in the future. So Mason, back to you, Wasabi. If there was one thing that you guys get footed on the most, and don't lie, Mason, I don't think you have a weak bone in your body. What is the number one thing that Wasabi gets footed on the most, if anything?
Honestly, I think it might be because like Jen described the asset back nature of Wasabi. So like there's slippage, right? Because it's just like leveraged spot trading. So sometimes people will go in and take like 10 ETH, 10x leverage positions and then be like, why is there so much slippage? Well, because you spent 100 ETH trade through the fucking thruster pool. That's probably the most common thing.
Sorry, I'll stop doing that.
Yeah, bro. I need to quit chatting around.
That was so fucking
Smooth
perfect.
flex.
That was amazing.
I want to add real quick before I ask my question. For those that don't know, it's pinned to the top, but Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific time, the first official blind box drop is happening on the Colony website. It is called Dawn. Oh my God, my brain is not working. Dawn of the Grand Line. It's a 25-piece curated one-piece collection. The price is $69 because Pratik had to do it for the culture. So mark your calendars. If you go on the website, you could actually click set reminder and you'll get an email reminder of the drop. Yes, we know it's small, but again, remember, this is our MVP. We're testing things out. I can promise you there's another drop coming pretty quickly after that one. So just be ready. And I know we get asked this all the time, so I'm going to drop a little alpha. There will be platform points and they are retroactive.
Joey, careful.
I'm being careful, but people are asking, they are retroactive. So anything you do on the platform now will still count. So participate if you want. I don't know what the platform points do
Why is your voice getting so high?
because I don't want to get in trouble. Because I feel like I'm about to get a text message from Andrea or Pratik like yelling at me, but I don't care. So I want to ask Mason a question. Do you guys have plans to move to Bitcoin with everything going on with runes and ordinals, or what? Like, what's the future for Wasabi?
So we have ideas around bringing some of these assets to Blast. I don't want to get into it too much, but we
You
have
don't want to
some
get a text
interesting
message from your
ideas.
founder like me?
Yeah, I don't even need a
No,
text
he's
message.
gonna
He's
get a
sitting
text
next to me.
message from me being like, "Win alpha, where
Yeah.
alpha, give alpha."
We have some interesting ideas on bringing some assets people want to trade other places and like being able to trade and earn Blast Gold and do stuff like that.
So speaking of Blast Gold, Jen, in your infinite wisdom, can you predict where the next jackpot's going to go so I can buy some of it?
Oh God. Okay, but you guys can't like hold me to this. These are like
Okay, so all you have to say is no
raw.
financial
Promise.
advice, do your own research, and then you're good.
Yeah. Literally, I have a meme of myself wearing a hat, making me look like a farmer, where I say I'm not a financial advisor. Look, we know that tokens have a better shot at winning over NFTs just because of like how the system is designed. We also know that the jackpot could be hit multiple times by the same token or NFT. You have 8 different slots. I think it makes a lot of sense. And, do your own research. I literally just put a video out about this. It's like optimizing your jackpot deck. But like, I really think just because of how many holders there are of both Pac-Moon and Wasabi and the depth of their liquidity and the volume that we're seeing there, like, if you guys haven't checked out the interview that Dalton and I did with Pac-Man, go to my bio, hit Remint Reality, and it's pinned. I would watch that because I think there's a lot of alpha there where you're going to be able to like start to, connect some dots yourself. But when Blast is thinking about rewarding people, and I imagine this thought process extends to the jackpot eligibility and like how they've designed it, it's like the constant thing that they're going to go back to is like, can we numerically calculate like a project's contribution to the ecosystem? And there's going to be metrics that are objective, there's going to be metrics that are subjective. They noted like on NFT collections, like they are taking into consideration like the quality of the collection and the effort that was put in. But like things that are like pretty hard to fake is like it can be depth of liquidity on some of this. Obviously, it's a little different when we think about it in the context of Blur, but it's like these assets trade pretty well compared to the other assets out there. So like what I would say is like if you're playing fantasy, you should for sure have that deck or your fantasy NFTs in your deck. If you're a Pac-Moon holder, you just keep that in your deck because the more of us that have the same assets in our deck increases our chances of hitting it. And I think more and more those are probably going to be the 2 predominant ones. So it's like for sure have those in your deck because I think we're going to run it back. I think we're going to see multiple hits. I know that there is a lot of hopes and people crossing fingers for Blastopians, which is an NFT project, and like I could see that potentially happening. And I tried to do some Blur farming and I got absolutely wrecked. So I have like no Blastopian exposure right now, which I need to fix. But long story short, I think the safe bet is like Pac Moon and Fantasy, and then if there's like any other apps that have like tokens, that could also be really interesting. Like I have like in mine, I have like my juice, my wrapped ETH juice thing. 'Cause I know there's a fuck ton of people farming juice, and it's like if we all kind of put those assets in there, like that could increase our odds. Like so not necessarily any specific assets. Those are the two that I'm for sure keeping, but like just take that framework and apply it to anything that you see on Blast that you're like, just hit the jackpot. It's like, if it's a brand new shit coin, like probably not. Like, unless it just like gets insane amounts of traction and like thousands and thousands of holders.
So on Coffee with Captain again this morning, Cap made a comment about how this Blast jackpot is like the first time we've seen like a oh my god, I'm drawing such a blank now. The first time we've seen like an incentivization to like not trade, right? Like it's a way to incentivize people to hold, like a loyalty program, right? For like these coins, because most people are trading these coins, right? They're flipping them, they're as the price moves. But with the Blast jackpot, to your point, Jen, you're not trading because you're depositing them right into one of those slots, hoping you hit the jackpot. So do you think this is like a new / brilliant way to reward people that want to hold, like a loyalty program?
I mean, I honestly, I wouldn't really think about it as a loyalty program. I kind of just think about it as like it's one of the biggest inefficiencies on the chain. Like you're on a chain that is like touting that it's the highest native yield environment, that like you will be able to earn more just on your assets being here, like from the nature of being on the chain. And so like to be able to reward these types of tokens, I think is great. And I think it's more, if you want to, I don't know, I don't really totally view it as loyalty. I think loyalty is a byproduct of it. Like I don't think that's the intention. I think the intention is to incentivize liquidity that's over on Ethereum and other ecosystems that have been hesitant to come in, because they're all like, well, why would I invest into the Blast NFT ecosystem if I'm not earning anything, if I'm not incentivized? And I think like the way we need to think about Blast incentives is like it's kind of like the same thing as when you raise money from VCs, it's rocket fuel. And like we saw that with Wasabi. Like Mason, how much did your users increase once you guys went over to Blast? Like you guys saw some pretty explosive growth.
Yeah, I think we had around 1,000 on mainnet, and we have like 50,000 now.
Yeah, like that
30, 40.
Right. So that's like a perfect case in point. And it's like, well, if I deposit my pack into Wasabi, I don't technically earn any gold from that necessarily, right? If Wasabi's allocating to LPs, then yes, there is a little bit of it, but I'm not actually getting gold directly from Blast. I'm not being rewarded directly from Blast for having these native assets. And so I just think like this lottery system, it's gamified, it's capturing attention. Loyalty is a byproduct, but ultimately this is how can we jumpstart this part of the ecosystem? Like name one other Ethereum L2 that has a robust NFT ecosystem. It's like you can't, because like none of them have really been able to figure out how to compete with the ETH NFTs. Like really the only other ecosystem that we're seeing this rise in is BTC and ordinals. And so I think, if loyalty is a byproduct, great. But ultimately, I think the more important thing that we need to pay attention to is like, does this actually help grow the community that's here? And I think it does, because now you have people excited to get exposure to things. You have people spending like we saw this with Pac Moon. It was like there were some nice like green dildo candles there, because it's like whales are like, oh, like wait, I can now shove and ram like a fuck ton of ETH in here and like have the opportunity to get gold. Whereas if they were just in stables or if they were just in ETH, they would be getting that gold by deploying to apps. Does that make sense?
We also, I mean, we added some like the vault to our app to be able to give these, these coins and like NFTs with Blessed Sopians gold before this came out.
Yeah, but now we're like seeing it on like a much larger scale, right? But yeah, that's my long rant there.
No,
I
it
swear I'm
totally makes
usually
sense.
more eloquent.
No, it totally makes sense, and we appreciate all of the knowledge dropping that's happening here. Next time, we're going to charge entry for this because this was a serious education session. That was a terrible joke. Take it away, Profits.
Nah, it was pretty good. I liked it. It was good.
Well then, looks like I gotta call a winner here in a second. I'll go ahead and call the winner while Toast goes ahead and takes his take. What's up, Toast?
Hey, GM, everybody. No crazy take or question. Just wanted to give like a shout out to the team. The launch was awesome. I have been checking it 4 or 5 times a day just to see if new cards are getting listed, see what's out there. So, kudos to the team. And then, obviously giving a shout out to the homies, Mason at Wasabi, and then Jen, same thing that Joey said earlier. I just kind of wait for you to cover a topic so I don't have to explain it to anybody. I can just send them a link to your video instead of actually having to read, which is not like all of our strong suits. So just want to give a shout out to everybody up here on the stage. No real questions. You guys are killing it. Super happy to see where this goes, and like the RWA thing, obviously I'm bullish on. So, congrats all.
Thank you, Toast. And yes, we are all waiting impatiently for people like Doxin Wizard, Chasing Hits, Profits, and whoever else on the team that's supposed to be buying more inventory. I'm kidding. We're gonna get more stuff up there. Don't worry. It's a like I said, it's a work in progress. I'm most honestly like what you guys don't know is the amount of resellers that we are onboarding into the platform is going to like exponentially change the inventory. Like we have so many people across so many categories that are going to be dropping inventory soon. When it like whether it's Pokemon, I know we've had more requests for Yu-Gi-Oh. Somebody mentioned Magic the Gathering. We've got sports cards. Like all of these resellers are about to drop so much inventory on you guys. You all just better have your USDB ready. And yes, Pratik is going to update the website so everybody knows it's USDB, not ETH, because there was some confusion there. So Pratik, make it happen. And then also real quick, I pinned up top the video that Jen mentioned, that the interview they did with Pac-Moon. So if you want to check, with Pac-Man, with Pac-Man, check it out. I also pinned the reminder for next week's Spaces, 7:30 p.m. So you guys can set the reminders now. Coma, you had your hand up. What's up?
Sorry, I thought I got rugged. You hear me?
Yes, sir.
Were you in the mempool?
Maybe. How many stats is it at right now? Yeah. So Joey, speaking of like resellers and stuff, I know we've been we've connected on the Discord, and I'm trying to like figure out all of this like vault and everything like that. Well, I think I'm pretty like, what do you call it? Like pretty tolerant in terms of risk because I'm in crypto, but also like collecting cards. Like, how do you convince people that are collectors that really aren't into crypto to trust the app like The Colony? Because I think most of the people that I know that aren't in crypto, they just trust like eBay, they trust like Golden.
Great question.
Stuff like
Great,
that.
Joey.
Great question.
Joey, let me take this one, Joey.
Wait, hold on. Before you spill all the alpha, there's actually a lovely post coming out tomorrow morning about this, but I'll let you go ahead, Profits.
Yes, that post is absolutely coming. And if you guys want even more alpha, turn on post notifications for The Colony. But no, that's a great question, to be honest. And I think one of the biggest reasons why the team went about the way they did, bringing on certain team members like Dash, like Joey's brother, which is a major collector, is to kind of give that feedback and understanding, and myself included, right? I'm not compared to these guys. These guys are huge, but as far as just like the sneaker era and fashion, but everybody wants to know and make sure they feel secure when they buy their item. And I think the biggest thing that Colony did was secure a partnership with Brinks. And so everything is vaulted and secured there at Brinks. It's there on the website when you go to purchase as well. I think that's a bigger flex than StockX and than eBay, than all of these. I hang out with my friends that own stores, especially here in Miami. I go hang out, say hi, and every day it's like a stack of 10 sneakers or 10 pieces of something, and it was sent back for authentication issues. And the sneaker's fine. The sneaker's fine. These guys have been in business longer than all these sneaker reselling businesses have been around. And they're getting fed up with it. And that's like a major problem the Colony is solving. But just to keep it short, answer your question, yeah, we are securing all the vault items at Brinks. Joey, go ahead.
Yeah, and I'll add a quick story. So my brother, like she mentioned, has been doing this a long time, and he's got a friend who's that's what it's not like a part-time job for him. This is his full-time job. He is a like a full-time streamer, collector, et cetera. And he used to rent a retail space. And he kept all of his cards. He had his streaming set up there, and he found out that the owner of, I guess, who he was renting from, right, was occasionally going into his unit. And I don't know if it was what the reasoning was, but he basically told the person, and he told my brother, he's like, I can't have somebody like just walking into my space when I've got hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of inventory. Like they can just, where they steal a card that's worth $10,000. So he immediately broke his lease, brought everything back to his house, called up my brother and said, I'm sending everything to the Colony. Why? Because it is safe, secure, insured at a location by a company that is probably the most respected in the world. So now he's going to put all those items in a vault where they'll be safe and secure. And we had a call today with another reseller where he was like, I go on Whatnot, I stream for 4 hours, and then I spend 2 hours boxing and labeling everything. And I was like, wouldn't it be easier if when something sold, you just collected the money? And he was like, yeah. I was like, well, that's what happens when you send it to the vault and we tokenize it. And then somebody buys a card. If they actually want to redeem the physical, you don't have to do anything. It's all done for you. Right? So to your point, like, yes, there is a trust factor, but at the end of the day, you're not really trusting us. You're trusting Brinks, which is a worldwide respected vault. We're just the ones that are facilitating all of the really cool on-chain shit you can do with your collectibles.
Yeah, and funny enough, I'm actually packing something right now because I sold something on eBay. So taping it up, like putting it in the sticking like bag, and then I have to go to USPS and then get that delivered. So not ideal for selling just one specific card, but I think one thing that really kind of is appealing, and I'm not trying to just chill, but because I haven't even sold anything yet, is like the 1%, like the 1%, what do you call it? The 1%,
Royalty.
help me out here. Royalty fee, yeah, for like being the initial creator. I think that's a pretty interesting incentive to sell here, because essentially, yeah, like in other platforms, yeah, exactly. Like you don't really, once you sell, you don't really get any of the like residual like income after that. So I think that's a pretty cool. I really like the swap feature too. So and correct me if I'm wrong, is it basically saying like if you participate in a drop and you reveal, but you don't like that reveal, you could like technically sell it back to the seller at a lower price?
So Koma, you're welcome on stage anytime. I like being asked all these questions to show the platform. So real quick, since we're
You're
past
rocking
the
this
hour
world
mark,
right now.
I love it. So it makes it so much easier for me to talk about when somebody asks. So real quick on the 1%. So yes, if you are a reseller, or if you just sell an asset, right? So if you come to our platform and you curate a blind box drop, or you tokenize your assets and then sell them, you earn 1% in perpetuity on that asset that's sold on our platform. So if you sell a $500 card that is then sold 10 more times, you earn 1% every time it's sold. So that's to answer the 1% question. So yes, it's a way for businesses to continue to get rewarded for all the work they do, finding the cards, grading the cards, right? And then sending them in. Now, the swap feature is our patent pending on-chain smart contract that we have named the 721S, the swap protocol. And what this is it's a on-chain swap mechanic. So for example, let's use Wednesday's drop as an example. So you pay $69 to participate in the One Piece drop. And let's say you are lucky enough to get a card worth $100. Okay. So you're technically up $31. At that point, you could either hold that card, right? Like keep it as an NFT. You could redeem the physical if you want. You could list it on the marketplace and try to sell it. Or you might have a swap offer for $85, let's say, hypothetically speaking. And at that moment, you can just say, you know what? Give me the $85. I made $16. I'm happy. I don't want to deal with listing it for sale. I don't want to deal with holding it in my wallet. I just want my $16 in profit and call it a day. On the flip side, if you pay $69 and you get a card that maybe is only worth $50, because that's going to happen, right? Not everybody's going to win. Some people are going to get a card that might be worth less. That $50 card, again, maybe it's not a card that you want to sell and deal with selling, but you have an offer for $38 on it. You can instantly take the $38 and move on and use it somewhere else if you want. So it works on both the high side and the low side to give people an opportunity to be able to get instant liquidity. And the great part is it's all done on chain. So it's not like some arbitrary thing. It's a really cool mechanic, and we really believe that it's going to become the gold standard for blind box drops, both because it benefits resellers and it benefits the consumers. Go ahead, Matt. Or Coma, go ahead.
Oh, no, that's very informative. Thanks.
Go ahead, Matt.
I just wanted to ask, are you planning on fractionalizing any of the like high-end cards, or will it be simply like one-to-one NFTs?
So we've had a lot of discussions with other builders in the space. Like Mason and I had a call about, Wasabi and a potential partnership in the future. We've had calls with other projects. We talk to Kettle all the time and like what they're doing with the watches, and we've talked to Easy, and so we've had a lot of calls with a lot of projects. What I will say is we are open to any and all opportunities, whether we build it or we partner with somebody, if it's what the consumers want. We truly want to build a platform that is for the consumers. So if the feedback says, hey, we want to be able to fractionalize ownership of that $100,000 Pokemon card that's on your platform, and it's enough of a wish from the community, then maybe we build it, we partner with somebody, whatever. I can't say that that's like on the roadmap right now, but again, if enough of the community says they want something, which is why we have a channel in our Discord, which is for feedback, we'll find a way to make it happen. Pratik's probably like just upset at me, like just really mad. But to answer your point, Matt, like I would love to get to a point where we can do something where there is fractional ownership, and then, people can sell shares of their $100,000 card. Kind of like we see in Web 2 with like what Rally does. If anybody's familiar with Rally, they're a Web 2 platform that fractionalizes ownership of high-end assets, like the first ever Mac computer, the Declaration of Independence, etc. So I think it'd be really cool if we get there. Hopefully that answers your question. All right, one last question because we're 13 minutes past. El Crypto 77777.
Hey, how you doing, man? Just real quick. I'm a Web3 developer, full stack software engineer, and I have a question for you guys. This is very interesting. So I'm at the moment bringing a lot of my commodity networks over to the blockchain, and I'm actually developing smart contracts for them, right? And what you guys have built, nobody has, and it's actually the bridge from the commodity world to the blockchain. So my question is, are you guys open to, having a conversation about having, like, okay, bricks of gold? Let's just say if someone has 1,000 bricks of gold and they want to
You're
create
going to get me in so much trouble. Pratik is going to hate me.
well, okay,
Joey.
well, I'm just saying, hypothetically speaking,
Okay,
this is
hypothetically speaking, I would love for our platform to grow into all real world assets. So commodities, carbon credits, whatever. I would love for that to happen.
well,
So,
more
but again, it's
without regulation. I'm more so just like talking about building a project around it. So like if I said, hey, I got a NFT project I want to throw on blast, but I want these bricks of gold to be backed by the actual assets, the NFTs in the project. Can we use your relationship and your mechanism to hold these gold in bricks and also use your mechanism in this project that will be distributed? You get what I'm saying?
So this is a high level conversation with Andrea, the founder. So what I would say is, if you jump in the
I'll
Discord,
DM him right now. We'll get a talk one.
there you go. But okay, so thank you everybody for tuning in. This has been the On-Chain Power Hour. We lost Jen, so I want to give her lots of flowers and say thank you for coming in. Mason, you're awesome. I appreciate you. Wasabi Protocol is killing it. Make sure everybody checks them out. Give Mason a follow. Give Wasabi a follow. Give everybody up on the stage a follow. We'll see you next Monday, 7:30 p.m. Crypto, you almost got me in a lot of trouble. I talk too much. I talk too much. I talk too much.
You guys are amazing. I just shot you a follow, Crypto. You can DM me. Have a good evening. Everybody be safe. Everybody that tuned in today, I just shout out the winner and I tagged you below. We will be sending you some USDB shortly. Get in the Discord. The call in the Discord is in the bio. Thank you, everybody. All right, Joey.